Here's a good trigonometry problem. If cosine of theta is 1/5 and theta is in quadrant 1, then we want to find sine, secant, cosecant, tangent, and cotangent of that theta. Now, when you're doing these kinds of trig problems, it's always useful to draw a circle. I know a lot of you don't want to take the time to do that, but it does really help. Now, the quadrant that we're in is quadrant 1, which is important. That means all the signs of everything are going to be positive. And I know, so my angle theta is here, and I know this point on the unit circle, or whatever, yeah, unit circle, is going to be 1/5 comma sine of theta. I know that by definition of cosine of theta. The x-coordinate, where the terminal side crosses the unit circle, is cosine of theta. So there we have that. Now, I am going to use the Pythagorean identity to find the sine of theta. So I know that cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta equals 1. I know that cosine theta is 1/5. 1/5 squared is 1/25. I have to now subtract 1/25 from both sides. Well, let's see, the common denominator between both of these is 25, so I can write this as 25 divided by 25. So sine squared theta is equal to 25 minus 1 over 25. Take the square root of both sides. Sine of theta is going to be plus or minus the square root of 24 over the square root of 25, which is 5. Now, you choose the plus or minus based on the quadrant that we're in. Now, we're in quadrant 1, so that automatically says quadrant 1, sine of theta is equal to the square root of 24 over 5, the positive one. Now, the square root of 24, I think we can simplify that. So I'm going to do that over here. Square root of 24, that's equal to 4 times 6, so that's 2 square root of 6. So we can write this as 2 square root of 6 over 5. So I'm going to write everything down here. Cosine of theta is equal to 1/5. Sine of theta is equal to 2 square root of 6 over 5. Tangent of theta is an unknown. Now, what's the reciprocal of cosine? That's secant theta. So secant theta is just going to be the reciprocal of this. What's the reciprocal of sine? Well, that's cosecant theta, which is the reciprocal of this guy. So that's 5 over 2 square root of 6. Now, depending on your teacher, you may have to rationalize that, but if you're in my class, you don't have to. Tangent theta is just sine, square root of 6, sorry, over cosine. And if I simplify that, I have 2 square root of 6 over 5 times the reciprocal of this guy. Those guys cancel, so tangent of that theta is 2 square root of 6. And the last one is cotangent of theta, which is just the reciprocal of tangent, 1 over 2 square root of 6. And so we have all 6 trig functions defined based on the fact that we knew that cosine of 1 theta was 1/5.